As Mashina opens her eyes, she finds herself in Veltol's arms, who reassures her that he's here to rescue her. He gently places her in a quiet corner, promising to resolve things swiftly so they can head home. He then turns to face Marcus, who mentions he has seen his live streams and realizes that Veltol's power is growing due to the increasing number of subscribers. Veltol questions Marcus, asking if he has any justification for attacking Mashina and other immortals before her. Marcus dismisses the question, treating it as a joke. Veltol then asks if Marcus is willing to serve him again, but Marcus refuses, firmly stating he will never do so. With no further words, Veltol draws his dark sword, prepared to finish Marcus. However, Marcus summons his blood swords and strikes first. Veltol catches all the blood swords, but Marcus makes them explode, charging toward Veltol with another sword for close combat. Veltol rushes at him, and as the smoke clears, he uses his enhanced physical strength, bolstered by magic, to push Marcus back. Marcus realizes that Veltol used a strengthening spell in advance, something he can't counter with his familia. Despite this, Marcus overpowers Veltol, forcing him to his knees. Marcus accelerates, landing rapid strikes on Veltol, but Veltol anticipates his movements and slices through Marcus's sword. Veltol thrusts his sword toward Marcus's neck, decapitating him in one swift motion, with blood splattering everywhere. However, Marcus's head regenerates instantly. He remarks that it was a good move to target his familia, but that he saw it coming from a mile away. He declares that Veltol will never defeat him without a familia, and he uses his magic to cause his blood to detonate in Veltol's hands, triggering explosions. Despite losing both his hands, Veltol powers through, releasing a devastating blast that ultimately knocks Marcus out of the fight. The Demon Lord collapses to his knees, unconscious. Marcus expresses his lack of satisfaction, saying he expected more joy from defeating him, but nothing feels special. He turns to Mashina, who is stunned, unable to comprehend Veltol's defeat. Suddenly, she notices something strange. Marcus turns around to investigate and is shocked to see Veltol standing again, a dark aura emanating from him. Marcus recoils in fear as Veltol praises him, calling him the second person in history to force him to use this forbidden power. Veltol asks Marcus one final time if he is willing to join his army, offering to forgive all his past transgressions if he agrees to serve him. Marcus, still convinced Veltol is bluffing, responds defiantly, claiming that Veltol's time has passed, and that this era belongs to him. He declares that he will become the only immortal in the world, the true Demon King. Veltol acknowledges his answer, telling Marcus to die with pride. Marcus attempts to strike with a blood sword, but his magic fails to materialize. He is overwhelmed as Veltol releases even more power, laughing as he tells Marcus he will now witness his second form, a transformation only the herogram has seen before. Suddenly, massive spines erupt from Veltol's back as muscles form around them, and he transforms into a colossal, menacing dragonoid warrior. Meanwhile, in the city, Taka has completed her preparations for Mashina's rescue. She sets up a protective barrier around herself and hacks into all the city's screens, replacing them with a video of Veltol streams. The citizens are intrigued by the mysterious, handsome figure plastered across the screens, some recognizing him as the Demon Lord, the infamous, lousy gamer. Taka reflects on her mission, recalling how Veltol had instructed her to maximize his public devotion. She didn't fully understand his instructions, but he told her to do whatever it took to raise his popularity. Taka, eager to act without concern for others' approval, decided to flood the city with Veltol's face. She believes her task is complete, content with the results. Back in the furnace, Veltol emerges from a dark cocoon, now in his second form. Marcus, petrified, asks what is happening. Veltol calmly explains that his underground castle, particularly its deepest floor, was chosen specifically so he could transform into this form for the battle with Graham. He reveals that he can only take this form with the faith of his followers and a high density of ether drawn from the earth. Veltol adds that Marcus missed his chance to defeat him when he failed to kill him the day he was revived. He warns Marcus to fear him, as it will only empower him further. Marcus, undeterred, retorts that no matter what form Veltol assumes, he was defeated by the hero 500 years ago, and he believes the same will happen now. He summons a blood sword, but his magic circles dissipate without effect. In a panic, Marcus wonders what's happening, only for Veltol to explain that he's using the same trick to cancel out Marcus's magic. Marcus realizes that Veltol is casting magic instantly, without the usual steps, making him even faster than the most advanced familiars. Though skeptical, Marcus refuses to believe this, but Veltol assures him that his second form has vastly improved his abilities. He's copied and enhanced the powers of familiars, giving him the ability to cast magic by mere thought. Marcus struggles to summon his blood swords again, but his attempts are futile. Veltol shuts down his familia entirely. Furious, Marcus tries a sneak attack, throwing his blood at Veltol, but it does no damage. Veltol mockingly calls him a pitiful loser before summoning an explosion inside Marcus's mouth, followed by wind magic to slice him and fire magic to burn him. Finally, Veltol freezes him in ice before shattering it with his sword. Marcus falls to the ground but recovers, only to be overwhelmed as Veltol summons creepy puppets from the ground. Marcus, in disbelief, orders Veltol to stop, but Veltol laughs, revealing that the puppets are merely illusions fed directly into Marcus's mind through hacking his familia. Marcus, cornered by the illusions, begs Veltol to stop, pledging his loyalty in desperation. Veltol, unmoved, declares that it's too late and stabs him, saying he already asked twice, and there won't be a third time. He drags Marcus toward the furnace, where Marcus panics, asking if he's going to be turned into firewood. Veltol coldly affirms, stating that feeding him to the furnace will keep the city running longer and provide him with time to come up with new solutions. Marcus, the hypocrite, lashes out, accusing Veltol of cruelty. Veltol reminds him that as the Demon Lord, cruelty is part of the job. Marcus slashes his hand, attempting one last sneak attack with his blood, but it's futile. Veltol calls him pathetic, pushing him down the sword and throwing him into the furnace, where Marcus dissolves into a pool of magic liquid and feeds the furnace. Veltol returns to his normal form and turns to Mashina, asking if she's afraid of him after witnessing his second form. Mashina, overwhelmed, praises him for being as terrifying as a true demon lord should be. She thanks him for saving her, and Veltol gently caresses her face, finally understanding why he was so desperate to rescue her. As she hugs him tightly, Veltol confesses his love, and Mashina reciprocates, saying she loves him too.